Afternoon everyone, welcome back to the channel. How you doing? So after much deliberation, blue skying, deep diving, thinking outside the box, running it up the flagpole and not beating around bushes, I've made the decision. So it comes in 3 scenarios. So the 3 scenarios are, number 1, if I had to choose between these 2 cars, these specific cars, then I would pick the GTI. Now that is because it's had a lot of work done to it and actually it's faster than the R. 315, 306 horsepower. What I've done to this car and the way it looks and that paintwork, the ruby black paintwork, for me, although I am emotionally attached to both of these cars, I would pick the GTI. Scenario 2, if I had a stock R in white, if I had a stock GTI in white, I would pick the R. It's just a brilliant all-round car for me and just pips the GTI, only if they were both white. Scenario 3. So the third idea is if I had a ruby black GTI and a ruby black R, then I would pick a ruby black R. Again, the R just pips it for the all-round nature of this car. The 4-wheel drive, the DSG, the way it handles generally, comfort when you're not banging it around. And although it's not quite got the looks of the GTI, even the stock GTI, I would still pick a ruby black R. Now, I don't think you can get a ruby black R unless you wrap it. Gives me the experience of owning these cars. Well, this is my 3rd GTI. I've had the Mark 5, I've had the Mark 6, and now I've got the Mark 7.5. The Mark 5 I had for 5 years, the Mark 6 I had for 2 years, I've had this for 6 months. In between that, I did also have a Golf GTD Mark 7, I had that for 2 years as well. That was a great car as well. Golf R's I've owned 2. This is my 2nd. The first one I had was red and that was a manual 7.5. I then changed it for this white one in the DSG and this is my 3rd year of ownership of this car. All of the tests are done, all the POVs are done. Check up there, they'll all be popping up as we're going along here. I've done the 3 years review with my R and I've done the 6-month review with the GTI. So go back and check them out and you can make your own decision. So there you go, 3 scenarios, 3 outcomes, 2 with the Golf R winning. If they were both ruby black, I'd be having an R. If they were both white, I'd be having the R. If they were both white, I'd be having the R. And if it was just these 2 actual specific cars that I could pick, then I would pick this one. Cobweb. Let's go mark it down. Okay, so as the R is the winner, why don't we just take it out for a quick blast? So yeah, I picked the Golf R, everyone. And why? Well, it's for sort of reasons like this. Everyday driving. Speed bumps. Sleeping policemen, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, what do you call them? What are they called? Speed humps? Lumps? Bumps? Beasts. Anyway, so it is for reasons like this. It's for just out generally driving. The GTI does the same, of course it does, of course it does. But for some reason, this car just feels more solid than the GTI. As I said, I've driven both of them for a long time. This is not just driving the cars for a couple of years each. So I've opened the windows, everyone, so you can maybe get a sound from the air intake. I'm just out on a little drive here, just to give you some indication. Because that's pretty much... We're not in race. That's pretty much all that's been changed on this car. And I've done that. If you go back and watch another video, air intake and turbo elbow changed. It's a noisy car, this is. Definitely. In race, it's a noisy car. You just don't get the sound on the camera. I can hear it. So why did I pick this car then over the GTI? Well, this is one of the reasons. That's why. Yeah, the GTI will give me that, but it's not the same. And yeah, I've not driven the DSG GTI, to be fair. But I imagine it'll be something similar to that. You're just more confident. I feel much more confident with this car. I am getting more confident with the GTI. That is true. And if you'll see from the other POV I've just done recently, just go and watch that up there. I'm definitely feeling more at home in that seat. She was motoring. Pickup's just great on these cars. Anyone that's driven them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be sitting there knowing exactly what I'm talking about. It's all through the range, the torque's just there, it just keeps pulling you all the way through. It's a great car to do this in, to just drive out, no idea where you're going, hitting little 30s, hitting little speed limit signs, and just having a great time and great fun. Bicycle, give him the correct room. And what I do love about this car is, what I normally do is I never really put this car into race mode, because all you need to do is pull back on your gear stick and it changes it back to the setting you were sticking with originally. And then if you pull it back again, it puts it into sport. Now, I'm not sure whether that is different from the actual race mode. My mode that I'm in now is individual. And when I pull back on that, it changes it between individual and race. So maybe somebody in the comments can tell me that. I don't know whether all the settings go to race if I just do it by pulling the stick back rather than setting it here as race. It's saying it's in race now. But if I switch back like that, goes back to drive. Great car. It always puts a smile on my face. Now, if you are subscribed, or if you're not subscribed, then please do subscribe, because there's an upcoming video. One of the two cars, the GTI or this, I'm not going to give anything away, is going back to profile tuning very soon. So somebody's getting a remap. And no, I don't use the paddles often in this car. I still think the car can do it quicker than I can, and probably do it better than I can, but we can use them. tends to do what it wants anyway, is what I've found with this gearbox. Whether you've got it in that manual mode or not, it'll still change up if it thinks it needs to, or change down when it thinks it needs to. It makes some great noise anyway. Suppose you just push it longer. You probably push it a bit longer if you've got the paddles on. You can sense the move in the road, and you can sense the change of direction in the road better than the car can, so you know when to change. Okay, so I've tried to let that BMW get away from us a little bit. Paddles on. Paddles on. Big massive thing coming at me. Oh. It's a little bit damp now as well. Trying to test me even more. Again, I'm not 100% sure where I am. I never am. I do think I've been down this road. It feels familiar. Very uneven, probably getting that. This car just handles uneven really well. That's what I always feel confident in. It just handles uneven really well. And I mean, you look down and you go, oh my God, is that how fast I'm going? Such an easy drive, this car, it really is. It just eats road for breakfast. Another one of my favourite sayings. Oh, like a jump. Never worry about turning this car in or putting the brakes on. It just responds, goes where you want it to. And it feels like it's just got so much in it. It's even then. Winding through little villages like this, no problem for it. Got the wind deflectors on. That's one new thing I did put on. And obviously with new wind deflectors, that'll give it at least another 12 horsepower, I would have thought. So if you're in the market for buying one, then I would go for the Golf R over the Golf GTI. Sorry GTI lovers, that is me as well. Obviously I'm a GTI lover, but in this instance, after having both for a long number of years and tested them both thoroughly, there has to be the Golf R. Better all-rounder. Listen to that exhaust. And I think it just wins out, just by a little smidgen. But if it was between the two cars I've got now, it would be the GTI. So if you like the R, watch the video up there on the R, and if you like the GTI, then you can watch the video up there on the GTI, and I will check you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm filming for YouTube. I've already done the talking bits, you've missed all that. You can if you want, you're quite welcome. We're living at the Fox, innit?
And I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change.